Welcome to the Initiative Review Super Show. Today we're going to be covering Aggretsuko, Castlevania Season 2, and My Hero Academia Season 3. I'm your host, Darren Bradley, along with
Paulina Guerrier. What's up, y'all?
Before we get into it, let the people know where they can find.
I don't know why I gotta tell them. They already know at this point. But in case y'all need a reminder, here on YouTube, Afro Anime Initiative, or Afro AI, Afro_AI, excuse me. Um, Facebook, Afro Anime Initiative, can be just 3 separate words. It'll pop up. As well as at Afro_AI on Twitter. We do have a SoundCloud. Again, that's under construction. And our Instagram, Afro Anime Initiative, just one long word. And there you go.
Excellent. Let's get right into it, starting off with Netflix Aggretsuko. This had to be one of my favorite finds ever. And it's so weird because I remember when you telling me about this, because you sent me the comic book strip on Tumblr years ago.
Oh, I barely remember that.
And that's what I'm saying, but I didn't remember until we started watching the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I remember. Because Aggretsko has been around a while. It's just now Netflix, is hosting the show. It's like, hey, here it is in animation form. It's adorable,
Yes.
but extremely relatable. Oh, good lord.
And it's basically just about a working Japanese girl. Again, it's anime. And and about the daily lives and pressure of work life in Japan. It's a slice of life anime, but with a really cool twist with Aggretsuko lets out her rage and frustrations with life through hardcore metal rock.
Pretty much death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like basically like anamorphic characters. You have Retsuko, who's a red panda, 25 years old. She's single. She's adorable. She's so cute. And the thing is, the way the show actually was based off these short anime shorts, like just little, like not even 2 minutes, and it's basically her daily raging, like just dealing with annoying coworkers, hard to please superiors, just people in general who just don't know how to think, even frustrations with taking, like, the price tag sticker off an item, and it's like the
Yes, and the
adhesive.
glue sticks.
Yes, the
Yeah.
adhesive just stays, but oh, like she even goes into a rage over that. And you'll be able to, if you guys are interested, you'll be able to find them just randomly on YouTube. Just they're in no particular order. There's, I think, I don't even know how many of them are there, but just look them up. They're really cute, really funny, and relatable, because I know I go into a rage whenever something like that happens to me, and I'm just like, what is this? So in this show, it's basically like, how many episodes? 10? 10
Yes.
episodes. It's 10 episodes of, daily life at the office, her little mistakes, her coworkers, sucking up to her horrific boss. Like, he's literally a pig and is the
Right.
embodiment of a chauvinistic, just, duh. And
Right, because this covers her 5th year working there. This show begins the 5th year of her working there,
yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, 5th year, because first episode you see that she starts at the company, fresh faced, happy go lucky, like, yeah, I'm gonna be, a great office worker making a difference, and then 5 years later she's just worn down. She just
I
wants to
hate
get the
this.
day over with and go right, vent her rage at karaoke. That's how she does it. She goes after
Mhm.
work, she makes sure that nobody follows her, nobody knows what she does after work, and she goes to a karaoke bar. She rents out a room on her own, and she just goes to town.
With her own personal mic, by the way.
Yes.
Love that. I love she has her own personal microphone.
Yeah.
And it's so raw.
Right. And it's like the host there. He's like, she's just a regular there. He just books her room upon seeing her, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
this. This probably started in her first year. or second year working there.
Right. Yes.
Because office work, I've only done office work for 2 months as a temp worker, and I understand. I do. Now, like, working somewhere else, anywhere you work, there will always be some sort of weird politics that you have to, jump through, obstacles you have to navigate. And it's like, depending on how you take it, either you up and murder everybody, or you
Hmm.
take your rage out in healthier ways, such as screaming into a microphone in a karaoke bar, or playing violent video games, or, boxing, the gym.
Yeah, because
You know.
she goes through that. Where she has the karaoke,
Hmm.
she discovers yoga.
Yes. Through
What
yoga,
was
and
the
she
other
meets
thing?
two amazing people who's at her job. I'll get to that later.
Yeah. Hmm. And it's just it shows how like everybody needs to find a way to vent stuff proper, else you're gonna go insane because you have to deal with so many different characters. Like I said, you talked about her boss who's a pig,
Hmm.
a coworker who suck up to her boss who's a fawn, a
A
deer,
fawn, a deer, and
right?
a weasel.
Yes,
A weasel, I
and
believe. Yeah.
the weasel. Yeah, he's a weasel,
Uh huh.
and how they suck up, and then you have to deal with that, and then you have to deal with your coworkers, your friends, who some are just apathetic. Like we just don't care. We
Right.
really don't.
Right. And you know what's so interesting about some of these characters, though? Upon like the first half of the season, you have all these one-dimensional characters who's just pretty much out to make her life hell. But then later on, you figure out that, like like any human being, it's actually everybody has just a different side to them. They're more than
Yeah,
just the character they put up as
at work.
at work. With the
Hmm.
with the deer, or the gazelle, actually.
Yes,
Um,
couldn't remember. I knew it was
she
one of those type of
Right.
animals.
Uh-huh. And she sucks up to Ton, who's the pig, and in order to, be in a favorable position and light her own workload. But later on, you find out she's a lot more self-aware than she gives
Hmm.
off, and she's actually a lot more genuine. Granted, she's still really, really, really annoying, but
Hmm.
she's a lot more self-aware than people really think. You know, you do have characters like that weasel. I forgot his name. Um, who just sucks up to
To advance
Tan
himself.
to advance himself, and you can see, just you can see that he's the type of person who wouldn't be above licking the butt of his own boss, literally, not
Literally,
figuratively, but if asked,
literally.
he will do it.
Hmm.
You know.
He's that type of guy. When the boss says, "Hey, I need my car," even though it's not a part of your job description, he'll take your car and go get it washed. Like, dude, what are you doing? Stop.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, other people in the
yeah,
office are
it's
like, "Ugh."
and I think that's what makes the show so fun and so unique. It is that they show what we would consider the one dimensional sides from the American,
Mhm.
but then they slowly show like in the Japanese culture what those stereotypes are,
Mhm.
but then the other half of it.
Yes.
Like there's the annoying hippopotamus. Everybody thinks she's the gossip,
Oh
but
Lord.
actually she's more of the overprotective mother. She
Yeah.
wants to know everything and make sure you're all okay.
Yeah, but
But
she's like, she never wants to spread anything malicious, but she doesn't realize that anything she says, people will take
anything she says in
maliciously.
the workplace, exactly.
Yes.
And they show that even the Aggresso's direct boss, the Snake Woman. I don't know why we forget the name
She
today,
was like
but the
I think she was
Snake.
like a Komodo dragon, I think.
Okay, Komodo. Even her, and even her talking about how she takes pleasure in torturing her employees, but it's also she's like, I just want y'all to be better, so we don't have to deal with extra dumb stuff. But she
Hmm.
doesn't understand her torturing them is the dumb stuff.
It is. Like, though, there's one
And,
episode, I think, when Retsuko, she's been
mm-hmm,
doing yoga for a while, and
mm-hmm.
her boss, her immediate superior, the Komodo dragon, she had this jar that nobody could
The
open,
pickle jar.
the pickle jar, and she was like, "Oh, let me give it to Retsuko so I can give her a hard time, because I know she won't be able to open this." She gives it to her, and the girl just opens it, no problem. She's like, "Here you go," and she's just staring at her
Mm-hmm.
like, "What?
And
What?
the Gristle
You?
walks away.
Yeah?
All her
You check."
coworkers' jaws are dropped like, like, oh no, oh god.
Wait, what? And she was mad that she was denied her opportunity to humiliate um Retsuko, and I'm just like, this is great. This is it's so funny. And my favorite thing is when she is walking down the hallway with her coworker friends.
Mhm.
Um, and she's always coming across these two like sharply dressed secretary bird and gorilla, and they're like
Yes.
they always look so serious, like they're on a mission, and every and Retsuko is like, oh, I would love to be their friend, but she's too shy to approach them. And they always, and later down like the hall, they turn the hall, and those two are like, that's a cute little red panda. We would love to be her
Hmm.
friend. And then like
Hmm.
you know, and they do meet up later at the yoga class, and they start talking
Hmm.
and they become friends. And the funniest thing is when they're like, yeah, let's go karaoke, and she's like, oh no. But then, she shows her death metal side, and they're like, that's amazing. And they try to
Yes.
imitate it, but they couldn't.
Yeah, because that the episode when she tries to teach them how to do the scream without hurting themselves.
That
It's like,
was
you know
so
what? I don't
cute.
think you guys should do this. You're gonna lose your way. It's the
God,
best.
it was so cute.
And it's certain little things like that. Like I said, it's call it a slice of life anime because it is, but it's like, but that's life. Sometimes you got to take that risk. You might be intimidated by somebody, but
Hmm.
at the same time, they be like, but we want to be your friend. We think you're cool.
Yeah,
We like you.
yeah. We just look intimidating, but you're pretty cool.
Yeah. And like, because I remember the Secretary Bergen said that. That's the persona we put on at work, so we don't have to deal with BS at work.
Yes,
We ain't
and
at work no more.
it's so fascinating too, because it's like each character is an animal that is to their nature. Like you have Miss
Hmm.
Washimi, who is the secretary bird, who is literally a secretary bird,
Hmm.
um, an actual species of bird, and she's the secretary to the company's president, and arguably the company's de facto president, because the actual president,
Right.
it's just he's just so incompetent at his job.
Nepotism.
Oh my lord! Because he got the job through his dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and doesn't even know how to run the company. And it's like there was I know one episode where Retsuko expressed her frustration about Ton, her boss, to the secretary bird and the gorilla. I forgot their names. I'm mad. But because of that, the secretary bird was like, "Let me talk to my boss about this." So she used to her advantage her boss's incompetence, because he was thinking about like just throwing away the company's money on, I forgot,
A
building something,
model?
a model.
No, it
Yeah,
was a model he
it was
built?
right. It
Yeah.
was like a model, not even the thing that he, an actual like live scale thing to build, just a model. And she used that for to her advantage to bring up this specific employee who made the workplace very, very unpleasant. And her way of getting his attention was literally like slamming her heel on the top of his desk and breaking it in half.
Yeah, she broke the model in half. A
Yeah.
karate kick. Say,
Yep.
cow.
Her facial expression did not change, and I'm like,
Hmm.
so it was great. But then, awkwardness in the office afterwards. Ton was like
Right.
strangely nice,
And,
and everybody was scared.
and that's another thing that was really cool about the writing of this show. Like you said, that interaction between Secretary
Mm,
having a Tom led to awkwardness in the workplace. So you
yeah.
had those things in this awkwardness in the workplace,
Hmm.
but then, as it naturally would, then it led to a confrontation between Resco and the boss, and they had a rap death metal battle.
Well, they did. Granted, everybody was too drunk to really fully remember, even though Ton did.
Right, but what it did, it alleviated the stress that was going on, and it helped bring everybody to an understanding.
Hmm.
Like it was so weird that you were getting a little life lesson
Hmm.
in the show
Yep.
while you're listening to a giant pig rap and a little red panda scream death metal lyrics.
Pretty much burning everybody in the room.
Everybody in the room.
Everybody. She
Yeah,
went in. Oof.
the aesthetic of this show is just it's so relatable. Like I said, it does. I don't want to say it's straight kawaii, which means cute. It's not straight kawaii, but it is. It's accessible. You don't realize how much stuff you're taking in because you're looking at a bunch of animals walking around doing stuff, but
Hmm.
you're taking in a lot of cool lessons and again learning about Japanese culture at the same time.
Hmm. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And The best thing I really really liked, there was a storyline where Retsuko starts dating another red panda who just I, I think for me he's just a husk. Like he has
Boring man.
no sense of
Mm-hmm.
human interaction, like no social awareness at all whatsoever. And he is who he is, and she saw him through rose-colored glasses. That was the thing.
She was lonely.
Yeah,
And she was lonely, and she was looking the way out of, which is something which I've learned from my Japanese friends. Some girls go to work to get husbands, so they ain't got to work no more. I'm like,
yeah, I heard about that. Yes, that was a
yeah,
thing
like,
she thought about too.
yeah,
She was
that's a
like,
thing. So Resco was on that same thing,
mm-hmm.
and so when she started dating him, well, you finished, but yeah,
Yeah. So when she started dating him, it wasn't as she thought it would be, but even though it was like her friends were like, "Oh, you need to be careful. He's not what you think he is." And she's like, "Oh no,
Mhm.
it's okay. He just needs to be warmed up. That's all. He just needs to warm up a little bit." And they're like, okay." So I mean, they still supported her, but the whole time,
Mhm.
they went on that date. For him, I think it was just an outing, just to keep her happy. She thought it was an actual date, but there were so many red flags she
Yeah,
completely missed, and
yeah.
and
She
it's
chose to ignore.
yeah, she chose to ignore a lot of things. And there was one point she just broke down in the break room. And her boss, Ton, walked in, and I forgot exactly how the exchange started, but he actually gave her some good advice because he understood her position. And I was like,
Hmm.
whoa, like that sort of thing really blows you out of the water because, again, you look at these characters and they're initially one dimensional, except for Retsuko. Because
Hmm.
she's the narrator. You see the story from her perspective. But as the story progresses, you see more and more of you know different characters and different scenarios and different things to say and think about. And you have Tan, who's just the image of just chauvinism, but he actually has been in the business for a long time. He's been working at that company for decades, so he knows.
Hmm.
He sees this all the time. He gives his uh employees a lot of you know grief, primarily because for him it was a way to motivate them to do better. Granted, it was extremely off-putting
Toxic.
and toxic, because the thing is he came from a toxic workplace himself. That's how it was for
Right.
him when
He
he first
talked about
started.
that. Yeah, he did. He talked about that in the show. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, it's like you guys just have it a lot easier now." And it's like, no, the workplace should be a place of actual production, and you need to match the highest and go even higher, stuff like that. So he had good intentions in terms of productivity. It just came out in a very toxic way, and it caused a lot of grief for a lot of his employees, except for specifically for Retsuko. And I know a lot of people can relate to that too. You just have that boss you just want to throw out the window, punch in the face, or throw down a flight of stairs, or fired. Um,
Right there.
but it's just, and sometimes you have bosses who don't even have good motive. They're just highly selfish and just like to see people suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's
But yeah, it was definitely another a real poignant, again, another life lesson, another
mhm
real poignant part that Bernie, and I think that's why Slice for Life are so cool,
mhm
especially when they're done this well.
yep
Like it's like, you're gonna, all these things you are going to encounter. And there are
mhm
many ways they could go, but these are ways they can go, and you just need to learn, because even at the end of the day, through all
mhm
the trials and tribulations, because like I said, I just call it year five. Like I
yep
said, if you go look at the little shorts and the comic strip, and then, like, now you have the show.
mhm
It's her life,
yep
and even in year five, she's still like, you know what? I learned a lot. I still need the death metal. I
yep
got a long way to go, and
mm,
it's just really really fun.
it is
So my final thoughts: Netflix, Aggretsuko, watch it, love it. Season 2 is coming soon,
the to
so catch up. You
yep
got time.
2019 next year it's coming out. They didn't say
Yeah,
when, so
right. But
but
it's coming, so you got time to catch up on it, and it's great.
mhm My final thoughts? I don't have much to it. It's again really enjoyable, very relatable. You will get frustrated. You will see stuff you or your friends have been through, if you have any. Um, and it's just a fun show. And again, the animation's adorable. The interactions are great, and you'll just have fun with it.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So we got another show to look over and talk about and yell about. Um, Not too long ago, the second season of Castlevania dropped the week of Halloween, or is it the week
Mm-hmm.
before? Weekend,
Week
the end
before.
of
Yeah.
Halloween. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it was wild.
It
It,
was fantastic.
oh, it was great. It was wild. I love Isaac.
Just for a quick background, we're talking about Netflix's Castlevania
hmm
animated series based on the video game, which spans about game across multiple platforms, and it is the tale of the Belmont family and their struggle in war with Dracula.
hmm
If you haven't um, caught up on season one, we did a review that's on our Castlevania season one review. But right now, we're going headfirst into season two.
Okay. I don't even know where to begin. Well, okay. Season two immediately picks up where season one ends. You have the trio.
Trevor,
Trevor,
Cypher, and Alucard.
Alucard, or Adrian, as his birth name is. Um, yeah, they're just figuring out a way how to find Dracula's castle to get to him and stop him from destroying the entire world. And what is it? It's like they're Dracula puts together like this war council,
Mm-hmm.
and like so he calls in a bunch of like vampire leaders from all over the world. You have one from Japan, from India, from the Middle East, from
The African one was
Scotland.
pretty. She was hot.
Oh yeah, she was. She
She
really
was hot.
was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have one from whatever he was like. Godbrand.
The Viking.
The
You
Viking.
had to
There we
be a
go.
Viking.
Viking.
Yeah.
Of course. Just he's something else. But yeah, he calls together this whole council along with their followers, and he also introduces two humans who hate other humans as much as Dracula does. You have Isaac and Hector,
Mm-hmm.
both both dealing with necromancy, but in different ways, which is really cool.
What are they
Like
called? Demon Forgers?
demon forgers, yeah. Well, Hector does it. Yeah, they both do
They both do it.
necromancy. Yeah, they through
Mm-hmm.
forging, which is fascinating,
Mm-hmm.
really fascinating. And Hector is so naive, naive,
I don't know. Okay. I don't want to
naive.
say okay.
Mm,
Now let's do like all right, real quick background. Like I
eh.
said, it starts off with the trio trying to figure out their next step. They're
Mhm.
together, they decide they want to kill Dracula, but they gotta figure out the next step.
Yeah.
So we quickly switch over to the War Council.
Mhm.
And they start to give us background on Hector and Isaac.
Right.
And even the vampire generals are like, why are two humans leading us?
Yeah.
Because Dracula, because I said so. And that was the end of that conversation.
Right.
And as the show goes on, you start to learn more about Hector and Isaac's background.
Mhm.
And and it's really good in this show. What they say is nobody's really good here.
No, of
They're
course not.
showing the inhumanity of humans and why two humans would side with the genocide of their entire species.
Yeah. Even though
And
one's reason is for him curbing the human population, at least treating them like cattle and having just a certain amount should be fine. Whereas the other one's
that's
like, nah, demolish everybody.
yeah, that's Hector
Yeah.
because Hector is cold, but he's caring at the same time.
hmm
His whole thing for getting into the dark arts is because his pet died.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't want my pet to die. I can use dark magic to bring my pet back. And everybody treated him like crap because of that.
Oh,
So he
especially
hated
his
human
family.
beings because of that.
Especially his own
Exactly.
family. That's the problem.
Right.
It's people that they, both Hector and Isaac, from people that they felt were the closest to, treated them the absolute worst.
Right. Because with
Yeah,
Isaac, what was it? It was his teacher.
I think it was his master. If
Yeah.
he was bought and his master was beating him because he was like, "Oh, I thought, I told you to stick to what I tell you to do. Don't go reading, don't go learning behind my back." And Isaac's like, "Dude, I wanted to learn so I can help you. The guy
Right, because he
pauses.
was in love with him,
Right, and the guy
which is really cool to put that in there.
It is. And the guy pauses, his master pauses, and he was like, "Oh, I never realized." And you hear him go on this loving, short speech about that, but then continues to whip him,
To beat the
to
crap out
beat
of him.
the
Yeah.
daylights out of him. And it's like, oh, well, then, if that's the
Yeah, and
case.
Isaac flips. And he flips and murders him. And I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it
So
does.
it's like so you get a lot of deep background characters with stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good about this. We did a live tweet. The initiative did a live tweet covering the show when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And going through this show, first of all, the animation,
Oh,
superb,
oh, man.
gorgeous.
Top
The
tier.
colors, top tier. The
Framing.
video, yes, framing. The video game references are on point.
Yep.
They're small but slight, but it's like, I remember that from that one game that one time 15 years ago. Awesome. And the settings look like levels. But again, at the end of the day, because there's some points in the show, it was 10 episodes this time.
Mm-hmm.
The first season was 4. No, I'm sorry, it was 8 episodes.
8
this
episodes,
time.
yeah.
The first season was 4. There are little lulls. There's some slow down parts, but those slow down parts, when they know there's not action or too much movement, character development.
Mm-hmm.
You get an entire episode of the trio stuck down in the Belmont Library, and it's just them interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Alucard flirting with Cypher. Cypher and Trevor getting closer. Trevor and Alucard just because it's vampire versus vampire hunter for generations. No matter what, they just go not like each other.
No.
And you get an entire episode of that.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they don't try to kill each other. They just insult each other.
No, they just talk mess.
Yeah, they talk mess. They do, straight up.
Yeah, I'm trying not to curse too. They just they just talk mess, and it's great.
It's funny. And
just little jabs.
And it's so funny too how Cypher pretty much called Alucard out for his actual age.
Yes.
And his face was just outraged.
Like, you piece of, you know what?
Well, yeah.
Human,
no, because
and
he
just walks away.
Because he's dampier, if that's how you pronounce it. Like, he half vampire, half human. He ages a lot faster. Yeah, he ages a lot faster than pretty much the average human. So technically, mentally he's a baby. So when Sypha pointed that out, and she's like, because again he approached her about getting close to Trevor, and she's like, "What about you?" He's like, "What about me?" And like they start talking about his upbringing a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, so you're basically a teenager in a grown man's body." And he just looks at her like, "How dare you?" She's like, "I'm right though.
I am the son of a Dracula. Screw you." and Trevor's just snickering like.
Oh, and Trevor, God bless him, he's such a bum.
Oh God, yes. and
understandably,
point that out. No, but yeah, exactly. Literally from the first season, his family is destroyed. Yeah. All they were doing was what they'd been told to do for generations: protect human beings from evil. Mm-hmm. The church turns on them, takes everything away. They're basically poor, lost their home. Everybody's dead but him. And even after the end of season 1, it's not a quick turnaround. No. Even at the beginning of season 2, it's like he's still dealing with that trauma. It's just so well done. Mm-hmm. Because there are little points in there, especially when they decide, okay, if anything can help us finally figure out how to kill the big man, kill Dracula, we got to go back to my home. Right. And they all like, what? They like, I thought it was destroyed. He's like, it was destroyed. There are some things we got. And Alucard is like, of course, you dirty human. But he's also like, you have a whole entire library filled away how to kill my people, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
And like, well, yeah. Like, duh.
Like, of course, that's our legacy.
Like, that's what we do.
Right, that's our legacy. What are you insulted about, sir? You're out to kill your own dad.
Right.
Come on.
And they say it, and they look at each other, and they walking like, and they just keep going.
Yeah. Oh, they make fun of each other. They laugh. They actually laugh at each other's demises because it's like, well, what else are we supposed to do?
It was so well renowned. Again, I have to give credit to Warren Ellis,
Mm-hmm.
great author, one of my favorite comic book writers. Planetary is literally one of my favorite series ever made,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell those themes because that ability to do long form writing, he makes sure that all the throwbacks and things are there. Little conversations here
Mm-hmm.
come up here. Little hints about what we need to do here are shown here. Like everybody has a follow up action.
Mm-hmm.
Because like going back to the Vampire Council, when Carmilla shows up, she's already on everybody's bad side. Dracula called her weeks ago and she late. Can't do that.
Mm.
So everybody already off the bat, like, okay, she finna do something deviant. But
Yep.
Dracula don't care. Dracula, like, I'm tired. My wife is dead. I want to kill everybody. I don't care. But
You pretty much find out later on. It's not even later on. It's like if you really pay attention, it's basically just a suicide mission. Like
yeah,
Dracula just wants to die and take the entire world with him.
take everybody with them.
Mm.
But and you start to see even like her production. That's what she owns. She's like, nah, I'm not having this.
Mm-hmm.
If we gonna do this, we gonna do it right, and I'm gonna leave. First couple of, but literally from her first conversations to her last conversation in the show, everything's connected. Nothing was throwaway. Everything was hit and shown throughout the series, and it just made everything feel so much more important.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing was a waste.
No, not at all. They didn't waste time either. And I just I'm just really impressed with Carmilla because she is the baddest. I love her and hate her at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And but she made such valid points about how she wasn't going to let tired old men determine how she should live. Like she's
Yes.
tired because previously I think her maker was an
Mm-hmm.
tired old man, and
Mm-hmm.
I think nearing his death he tried to pull some crap on her. I forgot what it
Yeah,
was exactly,
she slaughtered that
and
fool.
she do like brutally too. Oh, it was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm not gonna tell y'all how she did it. Y'all gotta watch it if you can stomach it. Because this show is is brutal. Like
Mm-hmm.
season 2, whew, they did not hold back.
It's
Um,
very gothic. It's very gothic.
very gothic, gory, but in a I don't want to say in a classy way, but it's just not too much. Like it's not
In a
overwhelming.
well presented way. How
Yes,
about that?
there,
Yes.
there you go.
It's well presented gothic gore.
Yes, and there's just so many things that to just really look at, not just with Carmilla, but with Hector, with Isaac. Isaac and his sense of loyalty. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate it, especially to Dracula, because they both know. The thing is, like, between Dracula, Hector, and Isaac, only Isaac and Dracula know the actual truth of what is actually going on. Hector just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to curb the human population. Isaac and Dracula wants it completely demolished.
Yeah.
Gone. And they had to hold that part back in order to recruit Hector.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know?
some of the other vampire lords too.
Yes.
Because that was something that was pointed out super early and super fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was Godbrand. He was like, yo, if we kill them all, what we gonna eat?
Yeah. From the jump, he said that.
He's like, bruh, come on, man. We eat these things. If you kill them all, what are we
I'm
going
gonna to do. And Dracula's like, animals. And he's like, what?
Yeah,
No,
man. You're like, what?
why? No,
Yeah.
that's not what we eat. That's not what we do. What? We're not savages. And it's like, bro. But okay. so it's interesting, but I honestly though, I love I'm gonna keep going back to Isaac because he's just my favorite, period. Just
Oh, definitely.
oh, how he because at one point he gets sent away by Dracula to have his life saved because it was kind of a return of the
Carmilla
favor.
betrays every. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
unsurprisingly. Um, and he gets sent away to like the middle of this desert.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, y'all. But he goes and he finds an oasis, and then these three like white dudes just come
Five.
up.
No, it was
5.
five.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
It was 5.
Dude. Okay, I thought it was 3. I don't know why. So like just 5, like a group of them, just white
Wait, hold on. They were
travelers.
white?
They were
white.
they
They
were
were on horseback and they were
yeah,
armed.
and they were armed, and they were like, "Oh, what's this thing?" And I'm just like,
Hmm.
"Oh, wow, they really are going there, aren't they?" and
And
Isaac,
Isaac, hold on, but doesn't Isaac point that out? He says that like, that's the first thing you say when you
yo,
see somebody
I
out here
was
on the road in the desert.
I was going to say that. I was going to get to that.
My bad, my
Um,
bad.
no, I get it. You're excited. I'm excited too. Um, it's like, yeah, that was like he just looks at them like, really, like you see a tired wanderer. I'm just trying to drink, and they're like, oh no, but this thing is in the way, and they're like, okay, I'll get out of your way. No, we want you to be like something like they basically wanted him to be their slave.
Hmm.
And Isaac was not having it. He's like, you guys are going to let me go. You enjoy your water, and I'm going to leave. Just let me finish. And they're like, no, you're leaving now, or you're going to stay with us now. And Isaac's like, okay. And he pretty much destroys all of them. He slaughters. Okay, he slaughters a majority of them. I think two of them survive. I forgot how it happened exactly, but
No,
he pretty
he
much
he attacks
like,
the main one,
yes,
and then he just starts doing some really cool stuff to throw the rest of them off balance. Like I said, they're armed. He only has his like whip,
mm-hmm.
and then he kills them. And then after he kills them, that's when he does
Oh
this great.
yeah, he
I
revives
love
them
that
as
speech.
as
His
his.
demon horde.
Yep.
Because remember, he like I said, he has the same. He has the same power. He's a demon forger.
Mm-hmm.
He takes materials and turns them. And I love his speech when he's just like, you know what? No matter what happened, whether Dracula's gone or not, I can do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time I have an army. And it's just like, ooh.
Me, I'm just sitting there like, I hope he wins everything. I hope he outlives everybody he needs to, because we need
and,
this.
and speaking of that's what we need, that's what I think also makes this so cool. Because like I said, the video games, they're like 20 years worth of video games, 20 games,
Oy.
and comic books and stuff like that.
Wow.
So in season 2, we do get the final battle. I don't want to say the final battle, but we get a battle with Dracula. We get a boss battle like you would in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the trio is doing everything they can, testing the stuff out like you would in a video game to see how you could kill the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, they beat him.
Mm-hmm.
So you thinking, oh man, the show is over? We only had 2 years of this?
Nope.
We already beat up Dracula? But they set it up so well, the demon horde is still around.
Mm-hmm. You still have
Carmilla, who's now taken prisoner of Hector and has her own separate vampire army, is still around. And now you got Isaac raising his own army. So the trio's not done. Mm-hmm. And they set it up so well where you do have an end to the Dracula story, but then you have the setup of all the rest of the stories. You have, what is Alucard going to do now? He doesn't have his mother. He doesn't have his father. He got this giant empty castle. What is he supposed to do?
In a library to maintain.
Right. You got Trevor and Sypha. Trevor doesn't have anybody. He said, you know what, Alucard, you can have my house. I don't hear all the memories. My family's dead. Sypha has to go back and look for her family because, at the end of season 1, they went their separate ways. Mm-hmm. And Trevor's like, well, I might as well go with you. And we looks like we probably still got other stuff to kill. Mm-hmm. So, and it sets up for like a whole new saga, but it doesn't make you feel cheated.
No, because the beautiful thing about that setup is that Sypha's the one who approaches Trevor about this. Like I love her to death. She's like next to Carmilla, she's like my other absolute favorite female on the show, and she quickly picks up that, hey, you don't have to be by yourself. Come travel with me. Come find my family with me. And then the world is still pretty much upside down from these demon hordes. Mm-hmm. You can use your skill in your whip, and you ain't got to be alone. Come with me and fight these monsters as we find my family. How about it? And Trevor's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, this girl knows. Like, mm-hmm. Like she was the one to reach out.
At the end too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's the one to keep them. She's the foundation of the group. Period.
Yeah.
And she finds the castle with her magic, which is yes.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the last thing I want to say about this. because, like I said, it's all on Netflix. Season
Yep.
1, you can go binge it all. It's quick. It's a quick watch. The episodes are what 40, 30, no 30 to 40 minutes a piece.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you'll go
The
through it quickly.
the animation of the last battle and showing off the individual skills of every character, the good and bad ones,
Mm-hmm.
has to be some of the best animation I've seen in years.
And it's literally you pause and it's a perfect frame.
Yes.
You pause anywhere during this battle, a perfect frame. And I'm like,
no, nothing was
what?
skipped.
Nothing. And it's just, I think it was the creators, the animators. Just, I guess they were just like, no, we gotta have this perfect. And sometimes that attitude will get you a really cool result, but it'll take a toll. You can tell the hard work they put into that. You can tell the hard work that they put
Yes.
into it. And I just, you literally can just pause on one frame and have it as a background. It's just HD,
Yes.
crystal clear. Like,
Yes.
what?
Yes.
Like that's dedication. Like, I hope they continue with that. I really do. Like, it'll be worth the wait, because they actually had the green light for season 3, like,
Yeah.
immediately after.
I think the next day.
No, within the week.
Okay, it was the week.
Yeah,
It was
kind
like,
of
oh,
within
season
the
3's
week.
coming, y'all.
Week and a half. Yeah, like, because the reception of season 2, so it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah. So I hope that they take their time again this time, and give us the same quality, if not better. I wouldn't expect better. I'm fine with the quality now, but yo, this hands down is like one of the best that I've seen in years as well. So get into it, enjoy it. Again, if you can stomach it, go ahead. Share it with those who's into the series, who's played the games. Just go all over it. Show your support, especially for Isaac. just yes, please. Okay. What else? What's our third one? You wanna
Our
talk about
third
this
one
one?
is My Hero Academic Season 3 or
Academia.
Boku no Hero. What I say?
Academic.
My bad.
It's okay.
But you know what? Okay.
Max.
To me,
Mm.
My Hero is the perfect combination of shoujin anime, old school Silver Age American comics, and just darn good animation.
Yeah.
But this season, it was like so much emotional. I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say, okay, we talked about this before in another podcast. How sometimes My Hero feels like it's covering the same. Deku does something, Deku cries, him and Bakugo fight, then they learn a lesson. And it happens over and over.
Over and over. Yeah.
But for season 3, it was some emotional connections in this, which made you go like, I don't care how many times they repeat the same thing. I feel it every time.
Mm-hmm.
You feel Deku trying his best to become a number 1 hero, so nobody has to get hurt, fail, or die. Right. You feel Bakugo's anger, like, I know something's going on here. Why don't y'all tell me? You feel it. I don't want to call them background characters, because to me, this season also proved the theory that a lot of us all had. If you didn't read the manga, it says it like, yo, it's not about who's number 1, number 2, number 3 hero no more. They're trying to build an army of heroes. And this season solidified like, no. We need the Avengers. Huh. And when you see Class 1A, after all the hardships, all the setbacks, and the setbacks from this year get closer together, you sitting there like, why don't I have? You feel the connections. And in other shows, there'll be background characters or there'll be stereotypes. But in My Hero Academia, these are fleshed out people, and you understand their motivations. You understand why they react to each other. You even understand the little small cliques that are starting to form within the bigger group. And to me, it's that combination of writing and animation that just no matter, even if you want to say something is repetitive, it's heartfelt. It makes you feel what they're trying to make you feel. And it works every time.
Plus, it's going to get a lot wilder in season 4. If you guys are caught up in the manga, you'll know what to expect next. Because, first of all, the season 3 actually covered a lot. It started
A
back
lot.
in April, and it just finished like a couple weeks ago. So it covered like the training forest saga where the villains attacked and kidnapped Bakugo.
Mm-hmm.
You had the fall of All Might. Um, that was that was I think the whole world, not the whole world, but I think like the villain world and the hero world kind of figured out that All Might was getting weaker and weaker. They didn't know the full extent of his state until excuse me, until the fight between was it All for One. There we go.
All for one.
All for One. Because I'm always mixing those up. Yes, so it was like this like ongoing battle between those two for decades, I guess. But when All for One kind of went underground, it was the moment, or kind of the moment of truth. The kids went off to go and retrieve Bakugo
Against orders.
against orders, but they didn't fight anybody, which was
Right,
smart.
that was their thing. We won't break the rules, but we still gonna go.
Right. They even had to wear disguises, which was funny. Um, so they had to retrieve Bakugo, and they did so in a way Midoriya knew that Bakugo, if he saw that it was um, Deku trying to get him, he wouldn't bother trying to leave with them. So he had
Mm-hmm.
Kirishima, I remember that part, reach out to retrieve him instead. And it's kind of,
Yeah, set up the plan.
and if you think about it, it's just really, really sad. Contesting just how Deku and Bakugo's relationship has been for the past, 10 years? Since they were kids?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I could just, that part, well done. Annoyed the daylights out of me, like, Bakugo, get your shit together. Excuse my language. But, child, stop it. Get your head out of your butt, which he does. He starts to in this season, and it's really cool. Um, but then again, you have the fall of All Might, and the moment where he's like, it's televised, so all of Japan sees this, and when he does succeed, he kind of points to the camera and says, "You're next," and everyone's like, all geeked up about this, and Deku's like torn up. And Bakugo, I love Bakugo's observation. I just love how sharp he is,
Yes.
despite his abrasiveness.
Yes.
Like he picks up, like, oh, Deku's not happy
Like, what
about
the?
this. This,
Yeah, what are you crying for?
yeah, but it's like, because later on he asks All Might, because I know each, was it before or after? I think you have Eraserhead and All Might going to each student. Yeah, this is I think the establishment of the dorms.
Yeah, it's after the dorms. They're all
Yeah.
in the dorms already.
Yes, it was after the dorms. Because then, before the fall of All Might, I remember Bakugo asked a question about his relationship with Deku. Because again, he picked it up earlier on from what Deku said about his abilities.
What is your connection with this powerless, quirkless freak
Yep.
who suddenly has power?
And is
What
advancing
is going
faster than
on?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Not only did you catch up to me, you're
Passing
surpassing me.
me. Right. And of course, Bakugo later on just kind of blames himself, completely blames
For All
himself for
Might.
All Might's
Yeah.
fall.
Because if he hadn't gotten caught, All Might and then when they had to rescue.
If he was strong enough to fight off,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it was like, there was a lot to unpack, and I think Deku, And this is towards the end of the season though. But before we get there, you also had the provisional exam.
The provisional heroes license.
The exam. And real quick, actually, no, the Fall of All Might was before the dorms.
I said that.
Okay. No. I was when Bakugo was questioning. I think it was after. That was after.
No. Bakugo questions beforehand, then gets kidnapped. Then they don't talk about it for a while.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Then we get the license exam.
Yeah, I'm always mixing them up.
And then after the license exam, we get Deku versus Bakugo 2. When he's like, "No, I'm fed up with this. I'm tired of this crap. Tell me what's going on."
There's so much happening in this. I don't even know or remember what.
but then but that's the thing. Even with all these story arcs, because again, they're all mini arcs, big arcs. The way they're layered, nothing seems out of place.
No, it doesn't. It's just that there's so much of it that I forget the order.
No, I'm just saying, like, but it doesn't. Like, you could go, like, okay, I use the comic, like how I remember comic books. But you go to old school comic books, you read 20 issues, you're like, wait, something wrong here. Like, something seems to always mess up. But with this, it's like, nope, all that still makes sense. How many episodes? 60 episodes in? Nope, everything still makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything is layered well. When it goes from one thing to the next, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. Like I said, like in certain parts, like a conversation will come up and it's a big deal. But because of other events, they don't talk about it for a while.
No, they don't.
But then they're like, I ain't forgot. Now that we're all technically somehow safe, we finna have this fight. And it's like, oh, yeah.
That makes sense. I'm just saying it's because it's so much of it. One thing that happens and then it's not addressed fully until much later, then you tend to forget the order of a lot of things. But at the same time, yeah, it does make sense the way they bring it back up. I remember that
all
thing.
The time.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
And then you have the provisional license exam,
which is great. All the students, we finally get to see more of other schools. Definitely way more quirks, and it's just really cool how they show. Because again, a comic book guy, it's like, oh, you can't do anything new. The X-Men been around since 1960. They just got some really cool powers that they start to show off. I'm like, this is great. It's just so much stuff that's put into this that makes it unique but still familiar. And it's just like, it's just one of the best shows. It probably is the best continuous show anime out right now, to me. My opinion.
It's pretty great. I ain't gonna lie. It's a great show. It's fun to follow. It's actually just a lot more fun to follow than in previous years, because I fell off watching Naruto. Because Shippuden was just long. It was long. It was a lot, but it was long. Now we have Boruto. And I'll just say this straight, I have no interest in watching it. None. At all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then you have, Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball I don't know which Dragon Ball that we're on right now.
They're on Super now. I think Super GT or something.
GT was a long time ago, though.
No, yeah, I think this is Super GT, ain't it? I don't know.
See, No, you know what? Either way, this is a good anime. Again, you turn things on its head. Who you consider the strongest ultimately fail this exam. Because certain methods they fail
that
at.
Was
cool.
was something I thought was so cool. Yeah,
very cool.
And not just the most powerful from UA class, also from the other classes messed up, and they about like, you was supposed to be the best of us. How you messed up, bro?
Right. Well, ego. It all goes down to ego, especially with certain demons that certain characters, personal stuff. Just straight up, I'll just say Bakugo's abrasiveness just did not help at all.
Yeah,
idiot.
And another part, like, something I think we talked about this before in another episode. The structure of this society, is also weighing heavy on these kids, because some of the reason that they fail is because of mistrust, or the way the system is set up where it's forcing them to fight each other.
Yeah.
It's like, and again, they address it slightly in this season, which if you read the manga, you'll see that they're going to address it more.
Later
But
on,
slightly
yeah.
in this season, like, yo, we need to fix this. We're going to be in trouble.
Mhm.
All Might, our Superman, All Might is gone.
Mhm.
And our number two hero, our Batman, is kind of a prick.
Is
We're in
no straight
trouble. We
up a
need,
prick. Straight up.
right, we need to figure out a way to get these kids to work well together, but yet they still doing the old system where they're making them fight each other.
Mhm. Making
They
everybody
talk
try
about that,
to
and I'm
fight
like,
for number one. It's like,
mm-hmm.
it's a tired system now. It's a very tired system because the villains are catching on to that. They really
Yeah,
are
oh
catching on
yes.
to that. Very well.
What was
Ooh,
that? The second to last episode when they do the villain thing, and
yes.
they show how the villains are starting to form groups. Like
Mhm.
even low level villains are making better.
Groups. Yes. Working together and then get to gain the advantage because before it was like
Mm-hmm.
one hero to, get rid of the problem in the area. But now it's like, no, you gotta have groups. You gotta work together. You do.
Yeah.
So, and I totally get it too because when you are in school, it is a competition if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that again, that's the system itself. It's not the kids. Kids just they want to do well, but they're also really more concerned about their interactions with each other. When you have a system set up to, have them compete, so they could be number one with one kid being number one, another kid being number two. I never liked that system. I never liked that system. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I know my dad was always proud of that. Like, yeah, I was number one. If I was number two, be chaos at home, this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, that's fine. You know, glad you were number one. And many times my teachers are like, telling my dad like there was many times I could have been number one in the whole class. I just don't make the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, like I know, unfortunately, we're even as adults, we're still forced to compete. We're still forced to,
Yeah.
you know. So right now, it's
Compete for
like
resources.
for resources, and it's like for limited resources that human beings demolished, anyways. Anywho, um, it's still like that. It's still hard to really like reach out and work with somebody when everybody's out for themselves. And I think this show really, especially this season, really, really pinpoints, the problem with that and how it's pretty much starting to kick the world's butt. It's really
Mm-hmm.
like you see the fall of this mega, mega hero, this huge figure just crumble to the ground, even though, he managed to save the entire country. But it was
Okay.
still
Mm-hmm.
done in a way that that made everything kind of go into chaos and for the villains to go, there it is. Because remember Stain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of started from, even though a little bit before Stain, but Stain was really the one to put the point on the map.
Like y'all guys aren't heroes.
Mhm.
Y'all are marketing and advertising billboard. You're
Mhm.
not real heroes.
No. And I just love how Deku pretty much understood. He's like, yeah, he has a point. His method
Mm-hmm.
is terrible, but I mean, like,
He has.
yeah, he has a point. An upcoming hero agrees to this, then that's how you know these kids are a lot sharper than they give off.
Yeah.
A
It's
lot
a new
sharper.
generation.
Mhm.
It's that old story of the new generation have to,
Yeah.
and
And
it's still them dealing with being kids,
mhm.
which is like I said, well done. And I'm at a certain point in the manga. I don't want to spoil anything,
Mhm.
but so far
It gets heavier.
we haven't. Hmm?
It gets heavier later on.
Right. And it's just like they have the weight on the world on their shoulders, and the best way for them to handle it is together.
Oh yeah.
Period.
And it's like this ongoing joke where anybody new who comes to the class is like, "Look, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be the best of the best." And the whole class is looking at him like, "Oh, you poor soul. No,
Like that's
that will not
that's
happen.
not how this class works. That's not
Like that
how we
will,
do.
that will not. You will be our best friend forever and ever."
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's great. I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, wish my class was like that. Which kind of was.
Indeed.
It kind of was. We knew the value of working together and copying each other's homework. Um, because we're bombarded with so much work and so little time to do it properly. So we're like, nah, let's just copy each other. So that teamwork helped. um. So yeah, this show's great. It's fun. It really is. I
It really
enjoy it a
is.
lot, and it's not that serious. I know some people like to take these type of shows seriously, but it's like just enjoy it. I'm not mad about nothing. I don't care about nothing but like the plot, who goes where, who does what. And again, with season 4, you guys will see, for those who are not reading the manga, you guys will definitely see more spotlight on other characters. You know, you get a little bit of background on some of these characters, but then later on, they'll get the spotlight. They work with other teams. Um, it's a brief spoiler. Another internship comes up, but it's a lot heavier this time because a lot of them have their
Because they
licenses.
got their licenses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they do like legit hero stuff,
Hero work.
hero work.
Costumes and everything.
You know, and they work for an agency as a sidekick or as an intern sidekick. And they do work. I think at least 2 of them do work with one of the big 3, with 2 of the big 3. Yes, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
Yeah, like once again, like this is from start to finish, this has just become one of the best anime out. It just has, and it starts with honestly with the character development. Like the animation is top notch, no doubt. It's a gorgeous show, but it's the characters. You follow along, of course, with 1 or 2 at the beginning, and before you know it, you are in love with 30 characters.
Oh
You want to
yeah,
know about each and
every
every one of
single
them.
one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's something that's very rare. And it's just very rare to just quickly fall in love with that many characters in one show.
Yeah, it is. It is because there's only like one other show I know of that's like that. Haikyuu. If any of you are into like shonen sports anime, this volleyball anime is hands down the funnest. And there are over 30 characters. You're like, I love all of them. So
Nice.
yes. So
yeah, I definitely recommend. So we 3 out of 3 from my side. Watch this. Watch My Hero Academia on Verve, VRV. That's what we watch it on.
Yeah. Or
I
recommend
recommend find it
on Hulu.
and watch it. Yeah.
So you can find it anywhere. So okay, so we are an hour in. So we are going to pause here. Thank you for listening to our really long review show episode thing. Please hit us up. Hit us up on our social media. It's like I'm just like this is wow. I didn't
It's our
realize
first
how
super
long.
review show.
Oof. I'm already drained. I'm tired. I'm gonna go nap. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please hit us up on our social media. We'll be posting this everywhere. We're bothering you. Please bother us. We'd love to hear more from you guys. Thank you once again, and take care of yourselves.
Bye.